Mike, what's up? You got
Oh, my video is off. Hang on for a second. Sorry about that. I'm coming in. Coming in. Wait for it. Hang on. There we are. Well, it's keeping.
now I got you.
Now you got me. Very good. Very good. Well, good afternoon in the morning.
And
And
Gary's here, which is the best, man. I almost feel like we should just. I'm gonna
who's
put
Gary?
like Gary is allowed to talk.
Oh, Gary
There's
walked up.
Gary.
Yeah, there we go.
And because like what's new with the Zoom thing for me is I'm just learning about stuff, and I appreciate Gary jumping on. Like we're not really promoting these a lot, and so once we get going, then and get like pro style, then I think we can get. But it's just helpful to get the feedback. So anyway, Gary, I appreciate you jumping on and
Can
helping
you
it.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you actually
Well, good. Hey, nice meeting you.
perfectly. Perfect, man.
Cannot see you though, Gary. Gary, walk up. Cannot
Yep.
see you.
Are you allowed to share your video, or do I have to make you an actual panelist?
I don't know. What I'd like to do, what you're doing is pretty interesting. We talked about this earlier today. So if you could just make a recording of it, I just want to watch it a couple times. That's all.
Yeah, no, well, I'm definitely recording it, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you like being on so you can just tell me what you're seeing real quick. Let me try a couple things and then we'll just do the rest of the recording. But if you don't mind, just hang on a second.
Sure.
I'm gonna share something real quick. Uh let's see the current share. Oh no, this is what I wanna
Well,
share.
I see a coffee cup, and I'm drinking
Okay, that's
coffee, and
what
it's
you're
one
actually
o'clock in the
seeing.
afternoon.
Now you see that, right? That's what you see. Now,
Beautiful coffee cup. I love it.
Yeah,
is
mine's
that
different.
is that
Morning
what you see when you
rum.
like? Is that what you saw when you first came in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
that's good. And then you see, like, do you see Mike and I like above that?
Yeah.
I see you, but I don't see Mike.
You do.
Let me see. No, let's see. Nope,
Interesting.
all I see is you. Oh, there you go, Mike.
I'm
I
somewhere
Okay.
see you.
there.
All right.
Yeah.
Now next, I'm going to press play on this thing.
All right. Ah, it moves too. Beautiful.
Morning Scrum with Govin Davis.
All right. Whoops. And now we're going to officially kick off the show. That's okay, Gary. I've got one last thing, and then you can then I'll let you go do some real work. Let me see here. So I'm gonna use the I'm gonna share this as a way to do the actual show itself. There's all right, so we're gonna use this whiteboard here. So Gary, do you see the whiteboard now?
I do. I do.
Oh wait, this is not good. It's weird. It auto plays this, but okay. So this is perfect. Feel free to like jump off, but we'll or stay on if you want to stay in on the.
No,
Uh,
I want to watch it. I'll watch it. I've got
okay,
some
cool.
time.
Yeah. So and you can jump in anytime. Like we're just trying to work through
Well,
this.
you know what's interesting? You know the word scrum, where it's all from?
I actually don't really know the whole. Like it feels
Well,
like like a
there
rug.
was different ways to do a project. So I worked for a South African company.
Okay.
Okay. And the scrum was, each week they had two cadence meetings. Everyone, you couldn't have an excuse. You had to do the work, show you did the work. Otherwise, they just tear you apart. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
word scrum is everybody's responsible, and projects can't be delayed because you said you did it, you didn't do it. So it's interesting. And to hear South Africans yell at people is kind of an amazing thing.
It's I think it's like from a rugby thing, like isn't it
Well,
scrum where
I told them, I go, hey, football is it should be soccer, anyway. But the whole thing was everybody in the world played rugby.
so no, I figured it was something like that. So but anyway, I
Now
think you guys
the scrum is when you get a bunch of guys my size. I'm like 6'6". You get to hand your knees, you put something behind you, and you just like try and mow them over. That's what a
yeah, that's
scrum is.
exactly right. That's it. Where the ball's like at the bottom of the pile. So, but I don't think I think have you, I think you and Mike are connected maybe, but I don't know if you guys have met, but anyway, Mike's, and this is something to talk about. Like the reason why Mike's looking to build this is his like model, like in his, you could say audience in a sense, are salespeople, like agent type salespeople, where he's like if you take like look at the EHP, I guess now you're doing the EHP on your LinkedIn, right? Like the idea is you're helping independent salespeople get connected with these high ticket products that they can add to their arsenal, and then you're sending me messages all the time about how I can go out and rep EHP. I mean, I think I signed up for it or whatever it is. And you're like, hey, yeah, if I got a deal for this, I'd make a lot of money. But what you need to do, or what you're trying to do, is come up with a framework where you can like give a turnkey or even do the lead generation for these agents, because if they go sell, you make money, right?
Correct.
That's the basic idea.
There's two ways to make money in sales. One is to be an individual contributor to drive a lot of production through your own talents and sweat equity. The other one is to build a team of 5 or more people to work with you and for you. And you're a coach and trainer and onboarder and also mentor and motivator to get them to be the best they can be in what they want to sell, which is product and services. There's two schools of thoughts where you can make the most money. One is being a team builder, and the other one's being an individual, goat of sales. Greatest of all good things, goat, for all salespeople. So I'm doing both. I'm doing a focus on developing a AI automation for my own purposes, but also for my team as well to share
Yeah,
with
look,
them.
if it works for you, then it's going to work for
Yeah, I'm the
you can
guinea
say,
pig
hey,
for
like,
it initially before I hand it over and say, hey, let's work with this and look at
yeah.
this, how it generates marketing qualified leads and more importantly, some preliminary sales qualified leads as well, based on product and services that are applicable. So,
Yeah,
well, that's
this
what
is
people,
interesting because you corrected me. I originally had it like SDR to BDR,
yeah,
like, but really, and I mean, Gary, I think you would probably see this. Like the BDR is like the prospecting side, and the SDR, I mean, you can call it inbound, but you're handling the leads and taking the. I see it more linear. It's like in a let's call it a sales driven environment, or like a prospecting driven environment. You have somebody on the front end or some kind of engine. It could be a person, let's say, or that's going to generate engagement or at least some kind of interest, and then SDR is picking that up, and like where do you draw the line, right? It's like, and how do we automate, like what parts of that we can automate. So that I did my
got
own
it
like
upside down.
LM. I
It
know
starts,
this
yeah,
is
it's okay.
Google, they
Well,
don't know
Yeah,
how to think, right?
you know,
So here's
uh,
yours, right, which is like BDR to
yeah.
SDR. um
well, that is most software and services companies start out with a BDR role. If you're lucky as a sales executive, you have a BDR working for you to develop leverage for marketing qualified leads. And then at times, if they're mature BDRs, they can actually develop with that second hat some early discovery qualification to create them into a sales qualified lead as well. That's where it starts. It starts BDR, then moves to sales development representative as well. And then beyond the sales development representative is the manager, the coach, the enterprise executive that drives a more complex deal. That's how the
I
leads
see. And
flow.
your
So,
Gemini is like actually
yeah,
going in.
I want to champ in a little bit here.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I've got all kinds of titles, VP, director, this, whatever. But and my struggle right now is in my 60s, I can't even get to the hiring manager to discuss. I put a business plan together. But the way I always answered it was, I never wanted to be a manager that would sit and review reps deals for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. That's what you do at IBM. So what I want to do is I want to meet the customer, do this. Now I've had sales leader positions where the rep's not even there. I make the call and I go talk to them. So the idea is this: I'm responsible for all of it.
To a large
Doesn't
extent,
matter if
that's
you're getting
true.
the leads, warm leads, the whole thing. I approach it the same way all the time. Now the problem I have is I'm going after some of these business development jobs for a small IT consulting company. And I go, I got a $200,000 base at Oracle. I'll take 60 plus commission. I'm too experienced. I go, well, why wouldn't you hire a guy? So I responded one time. I go, you got a guy that's 30 years old, 28 years old. I'm in my 60s. I've been in hundreds of discovery meetings with, General Motors, Boeing, people like that. I go, well, why wouldn't you hire a guy? The percentage is 90%. I'll outdo the guy, and then we can adjust it in a year. And so that's where I'm struggling. So where I'm coming from is, I see what you guys are doing. I see Govin's thing is one thing. I go, that system you got, you could sell that to salespeople or VPs or something, 5, 10 grand, wherever you want to do it. And with the company we have with Sorrent, I'm more than happy to call in the leads.
Yeah,
And the other side, I'm still trying to get a direct sales job where they pay me something decent, and that's where I'm coming from. So I'm doing both right now.
Yeah, whether you work for you, this is automation. This is about automation. This is about taking intelligent agents that are intelligent, that can source, qualify, identify opportunities through automation that's linear using sales methodology like BANT, for example,
well,
budget, authority, need, and then timeliness for urgency. It's really taken kind of an ability to drive lead generation. It's done in software companies and services companies if they have the people to do it for them with
Yeah.
tools. But I'm taking,
yeah,
I
well,
mean,
that's the
this is the
interesting
flip
piece
upside
here
down. You're
is,
taking a tool and creating it to become more of an autonomous agent where it actually uses other tools like what we're going to talk about in a little bit, where the agent is now not just a tool, they're actually an entity that drives forward with marching orders to create marketing qualified leads and sales qualified leads.
yeah,
And
well, and that's a good point about the sort of MQL, SQL, or like, because I really think breaking it down into these functional, like, what is a BDR? What does an SDR do? And then, because the flow that I've focused on so far has been BDR, right? It's like, look, to me, if you get someone who's experienced with sales, willing to make calls, follow up, build relationships, if you can feed the kind of top of the relationship engine on the front end, then and automate that, then that's probably at least for both of you guys, what I see is, it's like, look, if you have leads or people that are interested, you've got the experience and knowledge to go follow up, and then there becomes this question of like, how much of that can you automate? But yeah, they're two really different functions almost, right? Like the BDR is going to be, well, and this is interesting. Yours actually has, like, your Gemini is getting way down into the specifics, like make.com, Apollo.
yeah,
I mean, these are
my
the tools.
advisor is Gemini. I didn't, none of this is my ideas. This is Gemini as my advisor, a
Yeah,
paid
yeah.
advisor per month, which is, she's very cheap, by the way. She's worth her money. And
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, one thing, yeah, one thing I would say is, whether you're small or a big company, they all have, a CRM system, somebody got lead generation. And so you use the approach. We have something built that's an improvement that won't cost you a fortune. To me, that's valuable.
Correct. And that's the whole goal of this with a budget.
Yeah, that's what I
It
thought.
can be
Yeah.
done with a solo entrepreneurial approach, which is what I'm representing here, but also when you hire other solo entrepreneurs to work with you to build a market together of a team of 5 to 10 to 20 to 30, then you have tools that are not just tools, but tools that are used by agents that can be their companion in the engagement of the beginning and toward from identification, qualification, and early discovery. The human needs to come in eventually to continue the discovery and drive for conversion toward proposals, presentations, demos, whatever it might be. But it's the early ground that often suffers for most people in sales is, where can I develop the best leads that are quality leads? And how do I do that? And there's ways to do that that's more manual. We can talk about that a little more later, but this focus was automation, to talk about automation.
Yeah,
Quick
this is the
question. I got
interesting
a quick
piece.
question, real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm a predictive analytics, machine learning guy from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean that's my passion. So if I go to somebody and say, look, you've got this system, we've got something that's an improvement upon it. Is there any machine learning capability in there to improve upon, your overlay on what they're doing?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. When we
absolutely.
get into the design, and this is just something we're starting to like
There's a lot of
architect
coaching
right
there. Your AI agent could actually become your coach and trainer if you're a green bean salesperson, either on product or approach to the market with methods, or on
Yeah.
segmentation of the ICP itself. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship between yourself and the agent as a human in the loop. Yeah, you tend to govern the agent, but they can often become your companion and also your coach and trainer as well.
Yeah, these kind of models, it's a little bit more like, okay, so I'll try to show, this is the framework for, this is just my sort of like, okay, here's how you would
Yeah,
architect
yeah, that's Let me
this
blow
is
that up a
this
little
is
bit.
architecting the BDR, right? So let me actually do this here real quick. I can present and I can do this. Okay, so if you go to the BDR, the way the AI tends to work, is going to work is this is like you can do things up front like identification, but like in this case, let's just take an example. You say I go into LinkedIn and I'm going to go find like 100 people that based on some kind of criteria or like, so we're not doing the like signals like you can go find people, right? That you can also do AI to do research and everything. So what happens is you say like, okay, I've got 100 people and then I'm going to extract, and this is like if you go and look at every single like automation process for prospecting, it looks like this, right? You go get a whole bunch of people and you extract and enrich, right? So you use like different tools to scrape web, LinkedIn, whatever it is, and you get a whole bunch of data about the person. And then in this case, I'm building this with a HubSpot background, backbone, but this doesn't really matter. This is really what you would call the memory, right? So what's going to happen is you're starting to build up knowledge about each prospect. And having run these programs for 10 years, I honestly do think this is a good step, which is look at the people in the pipeline before you and say, look, is this person worth going after or not? For two reasons. One is it'll help like the AI. It's going to help it see, you can analyze those patterns and see, kind of, and you can just make decisions so you're not wasting your time and energy prospecting to people that you're like, hey, because their data extraction is never perfect.
And Gary, if you see the human being in the middle of it, it's called human in the loop on an automated process. Automated processes are often going to have a human in the loop on different milestones to be the basically the auditor or basically the quality assurance expert to come in and say, hey, they did it right. We'll move forward with the next stage of the automation. So that's called the human in the loop that he's looking at.
Yeah, so that's where this
Okay.
step comes in, and again, I need to build this out further. And then there's this core sequencer. So
Well, what are the standards for qualification? I kind of understand, but I'm trying to figure out.
that's why I'm saying you just do it yourself. So
Okay, all
every
right.
time you would implement this, you like
The
it's
answer to
gonna
that question, Gary, as a sales guy, you should know this. It's
look,
based on the methodology that you're working with. If you're working with a complex sale, it's generally going to be, something like Medic, or it might be something like Challenger from IBM.
Yeah.
But if it's a point solution that's not that complex, you can use BANT as a simple methodology. So whatever the agent's using that you authorize and work with for the artificial intelligence, stay with the same course of the methodology to keep it crisp so that you're
I,
talking the same language.
Okay.
yeah, and I think you can get like, look, if you have a scaled up process and you're a big company and you're running, 30 salespeople, you can probably use a lot of data. But if you're an individual, contributor and you're saying, hey, I want to automate my prospecting, I want to like build my own BDR. I think there's a use case to say, you know what, you should be looking at your own contacts. Like you still have to be the brains behind this. And in the AI world, there's these memory concepts and also like the message repo here. So
It's
what I'm
not that
actually
go big. Can you expand it a little more? It's not too readable for the audience.
right here, yeah, I should
Yeah.
zoom in on this
Just
one.
zoom in a
Yeah,
little more. I
There we
can't
go.
read.
Now I can
There
see
we
it.
go.
Beautiful.
Much better. A little more. A
There we
little
go.
more. Forget the other side.
yeah,
good.
I can just
It's
do
got to be
this. There
readable.
we go,
There
perfect.
we go.
So okay, so what happens here is what I say with core sequencer. Let me go through this one, and then we'll get into like how we draw this because your use case is a little different, Mike. So the core sequencer to me is that like you have a general like. See, I sent 4 million emails for B2B type stuff, and there's a certain sequence to me that works the best, right? And that's your opener, right? You want to get introduced, you're going to send that out, and what's going to happen is if it's good and you have a good offer, then you're going to get maybe 2-5%, some percentage of people are at least going to engage, and maybe you turn them into sales. Who knows what happens, right? There's all these other people out there that you need to keep following up with,
Right.
and you need to keep communicating. And most salespeople, as BDRs, marketing teams, they just don't get there. They don't do a good job of this, and this is where you have this intelligent engager. So what this does is going to go back and look at everybody that you messaged before and see what happened, right? Did I message them? Did they respond? Did they say something? It's going to go back to your whatever your memory is, right? And it also goes to your message repo. So you have to have a set of content available that says, here's like 50 different things or 10 different things that I can send. And the AI is going to go and look, and it's going to say, okay, let me look at what's going on with this person, this prospect, and let me go then marry that up with like my knowledge base of information, of messages, and also some guidelines about maybe some rules like don't message people more than 2 times a month or whatever it is. And it's going to go and say, hey, I'm going to, let's say, produce or automatically generate the messages that you're going to send, right? I stopped at this point because I'm like, hey, there's the intelligent engager. But what it really should probably do at this point is create, like, let's say it goes into HubSpot and creates you a task that says, okay, here's 10 people that you should message today. You might still look at those people and fine tune the message. That's, I think that's going to vary, but where the AI plays the role is being able to look at the messaging and the history of a specific prospect and make a decision about, hey, should I send them a message today or tomorrow? And what should be the content of that message, which is something that just takes a huge amount of time for a person to do. And this to me is where it's that, imagine this is running for you. And so you just go, hey, every day I go find 100 people, I load them into this machine, and I qualify, I just take a quick look at them, and out pops just reply after reply, because it's just going to do everything else for you, right?
Well, you're getting the alert, which is important. Now, how you structure
Yeah.
the alert is up to you.
Yeah, and Gary, you might want to, since you're an experienced sales executive, if you recall, most companies will bring you on board and ask you to develop a territory plan of 75 ICP prospects to target, to go to market for on introducing the product and service to. You might want to, and generally you have 3 tiers: the top 10 ICPs, and then the next 25. That's just kind of middleweight. Then you go to the last maybe 50 to 75. But the total accounts, and maybe Govin's aware of this as well, most companies ask salespeople to have addressable accounts that are targeted throughout the quarter and the year, roughly about 75 accounts that they own as prospects, prospective ideal customer profiles, companies of different sizes and different nature of revenue and so on. So you might just want to say, you don't trust the AI agent to take the top 10, which you want to own, but the AI agent in the background, while you're working on your top 10 accounts, they're working on your last 65 accounts concurrently. Think of it that way.
Well, here's what I do. Okay.
No,
So,
I'm giving you an
no,
idea.
I understand that, but I
You
just
have an
give you my
idea. You're trying
philosophy.
to fit this together with your past life experiences as a
No,
sales
I just
executive.
want to make a statement. Okay.
Yeah, go
So the
ahead.
biggest thing is lines of business. In AI, predictive analytics, every line of business, everyone in a core organization today for the last 5, 10 years, you could walk into a company that has software wired they think you do, and you could find something, whether it's a point solution, workflow, or something that'll fix a problem.
Right.
So if I told somebody, goes, what do you want to do, Gary? You're brand new to this position. I go, give me 30 accounts. In 30 accounts, there's 10 lines or 9 lines of business. Each one of those lines of business, I want to get introduced to, here's the thing that people don't quite realize. I go, if you work for IBM Oracle, I could go in right now, talk to somebody IBM Oracle and say, hey, yeah, you got financial records or something like this. You still got a workflow problem. General Motors, you know what they did? They go, it takes us goddamn a month and a half to close the books. We got 14 companies. I could get invited to a meeting for 15 minutes to say, look, here's what we got. So that's the kind of the way I approach it. It's more focused. With everything being said, I mean, I see the value of this eventually. I go, you build something that's really, really good. So, in my mind, I go, hey, if I was selling this, I know where to sell it to. Anybody that's a VP or somebody, a small company, I can see that. Now, Govan and I'm just looking at this as a tool that I can make some money with this company, Sorrent, as far as following up. So that's where I'm coming from. But I see where you guys are going, and this is fabulous. I mean, I look at everything here and I go, it makes a lot of sense. People try and do it, you've done it. So that's really that's the most important thing. You've done it, you got something. Now, how you want to market it is it's up to you. What do you want to pay? Because people try this and it never gets there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm focused on selfishness. I'm selfish as a sales executive. I want me to produce enormous amounts of revenue. I want the people that work with me on my team to produce enormous
Yeah.
amount of revenue. Then after that, then I may open this up, this idea up. Can we take this to market for other companies that have point solutions, enterprise solutions, and so on outside of what we do? So I want you to zero on the focus. Zero on focus is I want to make you successful, Gary, if you work with me on a project as a sales executive, using tools and using agents as well. That's simply put.
Well, it
Um,
makes sense. I've got two different avenues, but what you're saying makes sense, and I
yeah.
can obviously participate in that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you don't think about this as go to market with a brand new company with a brand new set of agents and tools to go to market. I'm focused on my selfishness just to make it happen for
Yeah,
me and
and
my team.
what I'm curious about this,
But the
Mike,
end,
is
the nirvana could be that as well to take it to market for outside market players. But we have to prove it works for us before we do that.
and Mike, what's a little bit interesting about yours. So we can go back to your picture here. Is you've got this Sarah and like you and I, because we've talked about this a bunch already, right?
Yeah.
Which is that there's an actual like prospect, there's a call in this process, right?
Yes.
So you're
This,
gonna so
the old world is emails and HubSpot with emails and campaigns with
right, so
emails.
you're
The new
basically gonna
world now is
say
phone calls. Phone
so,
calls is the new world,
so
Gary.
it's like okay, because you can't AI, you can't legally call people
No, you
with
can't.
AI. You can't cold call with
Until
AI,
you
right?
cannot, you have to have exactly. You have to warm them up through an email to get them to sign a consent form that allows you to call them. So
Excellent.
Gotcha.
it's a warm up.
So you're gonna have the like the prospect themselves. Like I need a new kind of person for this. Like I need a
Dude, I already gave you an notebook infographic there for the workflow. If you bring that back, you'll see the workflow real quickly for Gary without having to do it, brainstorm it out. I think it's the Sarah Two Hat workflow.
yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go here. So you send the email. This person gets the email, and they have to consent, and then you're gonna call them, right?
No, I'm not going to call them. The
Not
AI
you,
agent,
right? Well, not you. You're not gonna.
the AI agent on my team will call them.
Right, right, right.
And
The
wearing a hat
AI.
of a BDR. There'll still be a BDR hat though. They'll be wearing a
Well,
BDR hat.
I'd text them first. 80% of the people in the world
You got to still
will
get the
look at a
consent to
text.
do that. You still got to get the consent. You
Now
can
with
do
a
either
text,
one.
the problem with the text is I was going to go work for this company, and he had all the phone companies where they allowed him to do this. But you're right, you only send out so many texts within certain platforms. But
Correct.
just think of this: 80% of the people, it's a fact. And I did a couple consulting projects on this. Will look at a text within 30 minutes, whether they respond or not. So texting is pretty important. And I
It
didn't think
is
about this. It's
if
old
you have
technology,
consent.
but it's something to consider in the whole equation.
If you have consent, and I think different demographics treat them a little differently. The people that are
I
in
mean,
their
personally, I would.
30s love texting. I don't like texting. I don't like
I didn't
texting.
either until I almost went to work.
All right, so
I-
you run.
But
You're
that's
gonna
me.
Anyway,
base.
go ahead. You guys, go ahead.
I'm over age 35, so that's me. I'm just a different
Yeah, there you go.
demographic. So the consent's important. And Govich just learned about that via a sales guy called Michael just recently. And I learned from it from
I need
Gemini,
a better robot here.
my girl advisor. Oh, you want to put a robot in there somehow for the agent.
Yeah, I was like,
If
can
you
I
want to
use
steal my girl Sarah from my other infographic, feel free.
you know what I really should do, but I know what I can do.
Throw her in there, Sarah with the two hats. And by the way, Gary, if you're not working with Gemini today on a monthly date, if you're not a paid subscriber to Gemini for about, what is it, 20 bucks a month, maybe 30 at the most, you need to be as a sales guy, as a sales executive.
Take a look.
Google Gemini. Oh, that's beautiful. That's Sarah. That's my girl who wears two hats, but it's still one agent.
No, it's that. I'm not going to get into this.
I
The
know, you got to remember, I'm focused on budget as a sole
now
entrepreneur
it has nothing to do with
and other
budget.
sole entrepreneurs
It's
working around me.
just
I'm
like a
focused on budget.
conceptual thing. Like agents
Yeah.
are this is an agent. Agents are but like you're thinking of agents like they're like a person, like a personality.
I know, and it's a personification of something mechanical. I know, but it's an easy way for me to do it because she's going to have a female voice. When she talks, she'll have a feminine voice that's age 40 as a demographic. She won't be a cheerleader. She'll be an executive as a
Right. Well,
BDR.
yeah. That's what I say. You're like thinking of it as like an identity, but
If
like,
she was just an email engine, I would have a box like you got with the robot. That's a robotic box for email.
yeah. So what the way that the AI technology works, right, is Sarah has going to need to have access to the prospect data,
Correct.
and then she'll have access to this, not like I'm using this to represent this like knowledge base of like, and so
Yeah.
this is kind of basically the RAG type stuff, right? So what
Those
you're
are the
doing,
rules of engagement. What method are you going to use to
yeah,
lean on, and what rules are best
you're
practices?
going to have some kind of, yeah, you're going to have some kind of tool where you're going to load up PDFs or whatever of all of your like the knowledge about your product and all that, because you're not going to type all that out, right? And so then what Sarah's going to do, okay, so this is what you're trying to really, I mean, you need this stuff up on the front end, but
You do.
this is going to be the hard work right here, is like, how do you get consent? So like if your content and your offer, I mean, you need to, optimize, like sending email, sending
You got to
SMS.
tease them with something. You tease them with something called a assessment, an audit, or a proof of concept, and maybe some other teases as well. But there's a way to drive that for them to want to participate in that type of offer. They have to sign a consent to have a follow-up.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
goal.
you have the idea.
Hey
So
guys, I got an urgent email. I got to jump off real quick, but
Come
it
back.
has nothing to do with
Come
the
back.
content. I just send me the recording, and Michael, you and I should talk together.
You have a voice for
yeah.
radio. I want to hire you just for your voice.
No, I
Yeah, well,
know,
that's
but
what they say. But
Gary should just be on
what
our
am I doing
show. Like,
now?
now, guys, what we need to do is
Where's
we
my
need to
money?
keep working on this, and
We'll
Gary
work
should
that
just
out.
join the show, and then we're gonna. Anyway, guys, I'll
Work it.
let
You
you
got a
guys
voice for
connect. But
radio.
no, I
I'll connect
appreciate
later
it,
with
Gary. This
Gary.
is awesome, man.
Yeah,
So,
Well, anyway, guys, I'll keep in touch. I just got to jump. Thanks, guys.
no
Send me
problem.
the
Good luck.
recording, and
oh yeah,
we'll
yeah,
talk.
You'll
yeah.
have it.
All right.
That's an interesting point of view, having a third party and to sound off on. That's cool. He and I
Yeah,
have
no,
traded LinkedIn messages. We just haven't had the time to jump on our calls. That was nice to meet him. But he has a voice for radio. I was thinking, dang, that voice is a radio voice. So,
hold on. So Sarah books the call,
yeah.
right?
Maybe. The whole focus of go-to-market strategy is get them engaged on participating in something that's going to be like something with some value that's free, like an assessment, audit, a proof of concept that may be free until it gets proven and working. So you got to get when Sarah drives conversion, it would be conversion for a call to action, not just to have a meeting, but a meeting about a specific next step.
No, yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna put meeting. I mean, because I think like this is this is
And
architecture.
it's either way, because call to action is the next step is talk on the next steps, whether it be just having a bunch of meetings and then get a proposal or whatever it might be. But most people are trying to go to market as salespeople and marketing people with some sort of gem to get them engaged that drives detailed discovery, both with the human as well as with forms and
Yeah,
agents, things like
yeah.
that. And assessment
This
audits
is
through that.
actually not. I mean,
Types.
this is pretty straightforward to architect this.
Well,
I
this is
think,
very linear. This is sequential and linear. It's
yeah, but I think what's
um,
missing here is going to be here. Here's the piece that's kind of, I think.
I want you to, I talked to my girl Gemini. I want you to pick apart Gemini's thought process.
Well, hold
And
on,
I
I'm going
wanted
to
this
throw
to be kind
something
of
up
a
here.
pick apart what Gemini produced for me as ideas on how to go to market with building an agent with different tools and different approaches. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna here. Here's kind of, well, I want to get so here's uh okay. So this is what you're gonna have. Like, I think there's
Now, I'm not comfortable with a robot, call her a robot or him a robot, doing LinkedIn messaging because LinkedIn is anti-robot. So we got to be careful about that, how that plays.
well, yeah. I think you have to like this. So this would be the
It's possible. I know it's possible, but it's dangerous to play with LinkedIn with robotics
I'm just
for
gonna call this
messaging
the
and talking.
engager. Well, yeah, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
I think there's a loop here, and then
But definitely outbound email is for sure. And SMS probably less desired with go-to-market prospecting, more for the warm touches. I would feel better to see the SMS and LinkedIn happen after the female Sarah comes into play to have a phone call or a voicemail. And
yeah, I mean, I
then do
think
the
that
warm touches on SMS and then warm touches on LinkedIn. Doing
yeah,
it too early, I think, is a turnoff to most prospects to get hit up three different ways before they agree to engage or consent.
yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to solve all that right here because I think
Well, that's
like
just my preferences.
yeah, no, first of all,
But all three are possible. Yeah, all three are
yeah,
possible.
no, I just think we're this is as far as I'm probably going to get with this map, just for today. The there's some key like there's some really important things just from doing this that like it showcased to me. I just got actually I'm going to add one more thing here, which here I'm going to make this go like that because what's going to happen it also here is you can have this situation where you don't necessarily have
What's that back? Who is that backpack? What is that backpack supposed to be? Is that a, what does that
the
mean?
backpacks the data report. This is like here I'm gonna
I didn't know what it was, what it is.
oh can I replace this? Now I'll fix this up a little bit. This should be your like data repository, right? So for the
Right,
AI to work, right, what Sarah needs to have, she needs to have access to your CRM or whatever the the information about the prospect,
right,
and she needs access to some kind of like library of content materials and instructions about what her job is supposed
right,
to do,
right.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and what's going to happen is she's going to marry together those information and try to get the meeting. If she doesn't get the meeting, it's going to have to go back into this engager bot,
Correct, correct.
right? If they don't engage, right, then it's going to go back into the engager. Like it's going to send a message. If they don't respond in 2 weeks, the engager picks it back up. If they have if Sarah talks to them and they don't book a call, it'll add that data to the repository, right? And then there's going to be, so there's actually like a read write relationship here,
Hmm.
right? Where Sarah's sending information back and forth to the CRM, and then using that information, and so then you can re-engage. Like the engager could technically also like you could call them up again if they've consented initially. So
Yeah,
there's
all you need is
a
one
little
consent.
more to this, but yeah. What's that?
One, all you need is one consent based on a
Yeah, once they've
representative of the
consented, but you're not going to
product or
call them every
product.
week. But you could say, "Hey, I'm going to call. I'll call you in a week or two." They like if you call them and you don't reach them, all these different things, and you can
Give you an
re-engage.
example of an EHP. Sarah would say, I'm Sarah, an AI agent working with Michael Horner of EHP. Um, and I'm going to send you, and this is an email that she sent. I'm going to send you an email that identifies a consent so that we can talk and get some basic questions answered. That's all, that's the whole focus.
Yeah.
Because it's based on the company I would represent as an alliance partner, working with as a reseller or alliance partner. I don't want to do it overall for everything like my company, Maximus Horizons, yet. I want to do it for specifically that one
Yeah,
specific
right, right. You're first,
that,
and I think that's right.
that
To
one
be honest
specific
with
company
you,
and that one specific product of that company as well.
yeah, for this to go to the next step,
And that's a crawl phase, by the way.
yeah,
Bring it
you can't put take you in order for this to go to the next step, you have to say, hey, let's POC this, right? Or let's build like, and you
Well,
in order to do
I already got it. Let's bring up my build. I already got the whole thing set up on my.
you can't build
No,
it
bring up my.
without the use case though. You
I
know what
know,
I mean?
but bring up my
You want to
sheets.
talk
I want
about
you to dive in and critique it based on the selection of the tools that have been recommended by an artificial intelligence agent called Google Gemini. I want you to go through that. I don't want to brainstorm too much freestyle until you look what Gemini has produced with notebook infographics. I provided
yeah,
transcripts.
I mean, okay, so I can tell you a couple of things.
Just
There's
bring
two.
up the first one with the two hats to look at the workflow. then bring up the second one for
Yeah,
the.
this one's this. They both have make.com.
Yeah, I just want to talk about each graph, each infographic, and kind of stab holes into it where where it's good, where it's not so good or wrong, and so on. Because AI is not a perfect
Yeah, I
thinker
mean,
or thoughts
okay.
on
So
recommendations. So I want you to go back and bring up the Sarah with two hats, bring that up, and then we'll dig through that. And then the next
this one
screen we'll take and
here,
bring the other one.
well, this one doesn't have the tool. I this is the best one in terms of like illustrating your process.
I'm not an engineer anymore. I'm a sales guy. I'm looking at going back to the topical infographics just to talk it through for the audience, not just for us.
Yeah. Well, you mean the process or the stack?
If I can show it to you, if you give me control, I'll bring it up and talk it through with a demo. Can I take control?
Can you not here? You should. Can you share?
Can I share?
I think so. Give it a try.
I sent a request to share.
There you go.
And can you see that, Sarah with two hats?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Let's see if I have to do something different. Okay, let me see if I can share desktop. I'm going to do the desktop. Can I share?
That's coming up. Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah. No, I see. Yeah.
To share. Now there's Sarah with two desktops, Sarah. And can you see that, Sarah with two hats?
Not
I'm
yet.
doubled up. I'm doubled up a little bit on my voice.
Yeah, we got through like I would say what the map that I have.
I just wanted to really go through the quick look of the process. This is the BDR focus of the human being being replaced by this hat. Why do I have an echo? You
It's
hear
like
it? Doubled up a little bit on my voice.
yeah, we got through like I would say what the map.
Hold on. I just wanted to really go through the quick look of the process. This is the BDR focus of the human being being replaced by this hat. Why do I have an Govin, are you still there?
Yeah, it's almost like I'm playing. Are you watching it somewhere?
No. This is the BDR focus of the human I'm going to stop sharing. Something happened there. I cut off my sharing.
Yeah, that's so strange. Let me just go back to the whiteboard. That is really weird.
I'm trying to steer you away from the solution architect viewpoint. Go back to kind of the topical look, because I'm doing this for not just for you and me, but for the audience as well. Most people don't want to look at a workflow process that you're doing. They want to look at something that's pictorial with explanation.
Yeah, that's so strange. Let me just go back to the whiteboard. That is really weird.
I'm trying to steer you away from the architect. Okay. Because I'm doing this for not just for you and me, but for the audience as well. Almost like a ghost talking. Look at a workflow process that you're doing. They want to look at something that's pictorial with explanation.
I see what it is. I had like a YouTube tab. Okay, go ahead and share.
Oh, okay.
That was so weird. I was like, what is happening? It's like delayed.
Now you can see.
Well, yeah, I get what I understand what you're trying to build. I mean, and what I just
I'm doing this for the audience, not just you, for the audience. On the left side is the BDR where it starts. On the right side is the handoff from marketing qualified lead to get converted for a sales qualified lead, which with the Sarah, the SDR hat, talking now, not just email, but talking, AI voice calls and SMS as well.
Yeah, that's what we included in your
then
process.
If you go to the next one,
your core thing is you get consent, and then you hand it off to Sarah.
Over here is the consent. I don't have on the left side is for the BDR. Their role is to get a consent and create a marketing qualified lead. And it's still going to be Sarah that's going to sign the email. It sends it out as Sarah.
And then, I get all that. Yeah.
And then on the middle of me is me going back in the middle, making sure that the MQL is fairly highly, it's been qualified for an MQL based on criteria. And I'll check it. And if it's good, I'll either decide to take it and run with it, or let the SDR close for the call to action. It will be a decision point for the human to drive forward, or for the AI.
Oh, I see. After they sign the consent.
Yeah.
Well,
there's always a rule of thumb if it's a highly qualified top tiered lead that has an interest with a persona from marketing qualified lead, you can make a decision to take it back and own it and run with it, or give it back to the SDR closer hat to drive it.
Okay, then hold on. I need to go back. Let me get. Can I go to the whiteboard?
Yeah, you can, but I'm trying to walk it through because this is a real quick assessment. And then if you go through the
Hold on. I need to change it because you have what you just said changes the flow. I
yeah.
gotta get rid of this. Okay, so you have after the consent, you actually have another review.
Yeah, I have a review for quality to let it go through to me if I want to own it, if I want to hoard it and become a sales hoarder and just take it over from the agent, that choice should be there, or give it back to the AI agent to go close a call to action.
Well,
Most
you're
likely,
gonna
about over 80% of the ones that will go back to the agent. Only the top 20 or 10% will the human want to take it over because it's such a good quality MQL lead, marketing qualified lead. So it's kind of a collaboration of human in the loop for quality assurance, but also for exiting it with a MQL to go run with it if they choose to do that.
yeah. No, I hear you on this one.
Which would happen probably less than 10% of the time, frankly.
So this is based on so once somebody goes and says I consent, then you're going to go and say okay, there's a human review. If you say look, this looks like I don't want to. It looks qualified, but and then you let Sarah take it. I'm only going up to booking the meeting right here. Like, I, I think that if you can get a meeting,
The only reason to do a consent form is for an AI agent to make a phone call, not for me to follow up in a call or talk as a human. I don't need that permission. The whole
oh
focus
no,
of that,
you're only going to do that
yeah,
if
the
you're
whole
only going to
focus
do that
of
if
the
you.
consent form was for an AI agent to continue on with a phone call.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. You're going to
Yeah.
go in and out. If you want to, but you're going to review it and say like some. You said sometimes you might not want the AI to call them, or you
Let me
might
give you
not
an
want.
example. The AI comes up with a marketing qualified lead that is a senior director of vice president of a tier one or two ICP. I may want to take it and run with it without an AI, without
Yeah, that's
artificial
fine.
intelligence.
So the ones that you do let Sarah go for, then
Correct.
I'm just going to take it here up to booking the meeting, right? That's to me like this
No,
is really
no
an
meeting's been
ADR.
booked. All Sarah did with the BDR hat was get a consent. There was no meeting scheduled or booked. She needs to get a consent form because I want her to talk to people where I don't want to talk to. I want that consent form signed.
I know
That's,
that's not Sarah.
that is Sarah. I want that. I don't want to be chasing consent forms. I do not want to
No, I
consent.
know, but okay, you're still
Yeah.
thinking about this. Okay, like
I want her to get an MQL that signs the consent form, and the majority will not. And for me,
yeah,
that brings
that's
it
all
back to
this
me
stuff
by
up over.
default
Like you
as a
see what I'm
human.
saying?
They
Like
don't
here,
they
let
don't
me.
want to talk to AI agents. They want to talk to humans. Then I take
I
it over.
know, like
The,
all
the whole
this.
goal for me, for her to spend money on me, to hire her, is to get her to sign consent form so she can become an SDR and go through early, more detailed.
You're not making any
No,
sense
I'm
now.
making sense. I'm talking linear. Salespeople go from ID to qualification to
I know, but
discovery.
you got to look at the map. See, I can't, nobody can build something that's made. Okay. The Sarah is the person that calls people. So you
Sarah's the
can't call
person that
until you get
emails people. I
consent.
don't. I don't want to make any email. I don't want my name going out to emails. A
No, it
thousand.
doesn't matter. Don't worry about like, it's not
Sarah's
you.
Sarah works for me
Yeah,
as an
that's
entity.
confusing. That's
I know
confusing.
I know
Like
it confuses the hell out of you, but I'm saying it. Sarah's got a role in this from day one from the email. I want her to get
that's what I'm
name on the
saying.
email.
You're confusing what an agent is. An
I
agent
know
is
that
not
from
an
an
identity.
architectural point of view. I'm talking the active emails going out from
Yeah, it's
Sarah.
fine. You can use
I don't
Sarah
want
as
my name. I don't want my name represented.
no, that's fine. You can
I
use
want my
Sarah
name in the
as
email, but it's not coming from my email,
yeah, you can use
Michael
any kind
Horn.
of digital identity you want.
Yeah,
You can
whatever it
make
might
it
be.
up. That's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
That's
it could be anybody. It could be somebody named Sally. I don't really care.
yeah,
But
right. It doesn't
it needs
matter.
to be an email not from me, but from the engine
Yeah,
itself.
all of that happens up front. right? We've already gone
Right.
through all of that. So if you look at the thing, and then after you get consent, you review it, and then there's a phone call that goes out to schedule a meeting.
Um, a phone call that happens to have a call to action. I want them to go through the sales process for discovery using the rule book, the library of books,
Well, you're not, you can't,
methodology. I
you're not at
want,
that point yet. Just
I will
because
be,
some,
that's the whole goal of this, of a two hat. The two hat is to have both the BDR to do the consent form and a second hat to do the call to action activity to schedule an
yeah, that's what I'm
online
saying. That's
test
what
and
the
talk.
second one is doing, is trying to book a meeting.
Well, eventually that's the outcome of that, but they got to go through sales. They got to do some selling as an agent, not
Well, why?
marketing, but
Okay,
selling.
because I can't how like you can't like. I think in order for this to work, you're going to have to pick a specific use case. But what do you mean by doing selling? They're just trying to
They
get
got to
you.
answer questions. They got to pose discovery questions. Do you have any pain? Do you have any budget? Do you have, are you the right person for this? Do you have some, they got to come up with a little bit of a framework of budget, authority, pain, and timeliness for
Right. They can
they
qualify,
can
but
qualify. That's called qualifications in early
no,
discovery.
I get it. Yeah, I've sold many things,
Yeah.
so they're going to try to qualify and book a meeting, right? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, if it,
The
you
nature,
can't.
whether the meeting's for a POC or an auditor says, you want to just call it a meeting, fine, that's fine. A meeting's fine.
Yeah, it's some kind of meeting. Yeah, yeah. So we should probably put actually.
It's
I'm
just,
gonna.
those are categories of meetings. One meeting may be one meeting for an audit, another one for POC, another one for assessment.
Yeah. Hold
Because at
on.
the end of the day, I want to turn this into a consultative process using those mechanisms to drive
Yeah.
call to action, not just
Um.
set up a meeting to talk and chew gum with people.
Yeah.
It's a high lofty goal for an AI agent to pull this off. I understand that. To make it
Not
simpler for
really.
that agent, just call a
I
meeting,
just
make it
think I
easier.
think that you can have, if you have a good offer, and then the agent says, "Hey, look, I saw you said it was okay to call you. I just want to ask a few questions to see if you qualify for our offer. And I
Right.
asked you these five things. And if based on that, if it looks okay, then I'll go ahead and send you a link for a meeting or whatever it is. I mean, there's more to this, but I think this is your process mapped out in terms of like, it doesn't it's good. I mean, I would call this all BDR work, because this is really
I
just
don't
getting.
want that. I don't want that. I want it to be beyond that. I want to have a two-step process, two-hat process, one to BDR, one to SDR.
Well, you can call it whatever, but I guess it depends on where you draw the line between BDR. To me,
I draw the
BDR
line
has to be.
on the MQL versus sales qualified lead.
Yeah, but you
If they
can't. I mean,
they can turn
in
over a
high
sales
ticket.
qualified lead to me that's been done with more groundwork done with the agent,
Well, I would agree with that.
that
It
then
would be
becomes an
more
SQL.
highly qualified, but it's not like, I mean, SDR is closing sales. This is not going to close
No,
sales.
they're going to close for a call to action. The
Well,
first, the
this is
BDR
just a
closes the call
terminology.
to action for a consent form to
Yeah,
be signed for the agent to follow up. That's not me, but an
yeah,
agent.
yeah.
That's the whole role. Otherwise, we're back to 1999 using HubSpot or Salesforce
No,
generating.
that's what this. Okay,
I want this to be a phone
yeah. So
call
I mean, look,
operation.
you could build this and test this. I mean, to me, this is the process right here. Um,
I want you to bring up this one called bring up the other one that's called infographic. That's not the email deliverability, but the other one that's got the middle one, the phasing. That's a good approach too. There's three phases. I want the audience to know that when you do this, you got to think about crawl, walk, and run. And there are a lot of people don't have your background go bit on automation or AI work or whatever it might be. So bring up that one with the one you're looking at and
yeah, it's
expand
right
a little
here.
bit. And that is again, Sarah, you see the left hat as a hunter, the other hat as a gardener, um, farmer type approach. So Sarah as a BDR is the hunter. And then Sarah as the SDR is the warm nurturer to continue to warm nurture the role there. And the two agents, the two hat agent logic hat could be done with one agent. in regard to having an agent take
Yeah,
on
I mean, like I said, that's
based
not
on.
really that's just not how AI agents actually work. But if you want to say that, go ahead.
I'm going to say it works in concept. Concept where it works in practicality is another story. Maybe
Not
two agents.
technically correct.
I was trying to bring down the budget. Now, in the audience, the only reason I want to have one agent with two hats, I was wanting to consolidate the agent cost because it costs money to do this.
No,
I want to
it
bring
doesn't
down.
make any
I
difference
want to bring it down. I wanted to bring down the cost.
how you call it agent A versus B. They're functional process steps that are
Yeah,
two
I
separate
understand
things.
that from a
Yeah,
logic.
but it's fine. Like, look,
But the
I think
deliverables are a two hat logic or two call it two agents for lack of a better way of saying it. There are two agents that have their own role, and
no,
then
that's fine. Whatever it is,
whatever it is.
I understand what you're trying to build, and you're saying, okay, I want to run this for X amount of money. I
Yeah,
mean,
for X amount of money,
look.
the budget is there. The college freshman budget for a solo entrepreneur to do this on their own is roughly based on Gemini's estimation was
Yeah,
$225
go
budget.
build this and go
In
build this
reality,
and
it's probably
actually
going to
get
be
it to
double
work.
that because you got consumption costs and usage costs on top of it as well.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm gonna
And
probably
also, it's dependent on your level of your crawl phase on email domains. If you bring up my other one on email deliverability, you'll see that it's also categorized in three phases as well for email domains.
I mean, uh,
The whole focus of this, Govind Davis, is for a do-it-yourself focus, not to buy it off the shelf from third-party companies,
no,
but
no,
do it
no, I know.
yourself with
So
these tools. So Apollo Basic,
you're gonna build this.
I want to build this, whether I get it done or not.
Yeah, that's really my thing.
We'll
Is I
be.
think you have. I don't. I think. I mean, I've worked with all these tools. I've sent millions of emails.
I know, but I'm
All
saying
that.
it.
I don't think. I think the
I want to have at
make.com
least
is
the focus of
probably.
whether I do it or I hire somebody to do it for me. So it comes down to whether it's kind of a, what is it,
Well, what were
build,
the guys who we talked
build,
to?
buy, or partner. So it might be a
The
partner
guys who we talked to who will build this kind of customized thing for you were $2,000 to $3,000 a month per identity.
per,
So
per use case.
per
That's why I
identity.
don't want to, that's why I'm willing to do some extra effort to do this for my own purposes with tools set up in orchestration. That's why the whole focus of do it yourself is for me to build it as a sales guy that has a background as a software design engineer well over 20 years ago that used to
Yeah.
make a lot of money writing code or slinging code. So I'm looking
I
at it
mean,
as a side project that if I could do it over the next maybe 6 to 10 weeks to get it done. I want you to look at this to see if it's reasonable, basically.
I mean, I built
And I didn't come up with
100.
this information.
I
This is
built
all
like
Gemini.
300. I built
I know.
300, probably 300 software apps. So I'm like, okay,
Hold on for a second.
yeah.
Hang on. I got to get rid of this call for a second.
Oh
Hold
yeah.
on.
Oh,
Arlen, I'm on a
you
call
got
right
it.
now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, I probably built 300 apps or designed, architected.
And audience, all I did really
So,
here, my agent of choice for advice is not Govind Davis. As you can see, I got it from Gemini, who I paid for in the month of January.
yeah, but I mean,
Actually, it's a free
honestly,
trial.
like,
But I'm telling you, this is a high level focus.
are you
If
gonna
I
go
chose to do
like?
this,
So, what would you do? What would you do to build this? You
I'm
go
going
get
to buy
Make.
access to these packages and get this to fit under my budget that I assign as a freshman budget
Well, it
for one
doesn't have a
product, for
voice.
one company, one
It doesn't
product.
have a voice. I mean, okay, so like,
Retail AI is the voice. The microphone is the voice. Retail AI, that's the
where?
voice. On the left side of that, right? Let me get the pointer right here. There's retail AI.
Oh,
Oh,
retail. Okay, you would use
there's
retail.
the voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the crawl phase. That's the first 3 to 6 months to crawl. One company, one offering, using no code, low code or no code tools with some
Yeah,
JSON.
using Make. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've built lots of integrations with Make.
No caller.
Sorry about that. Is that conceivable to do that in 3 to 6 months and make it work as a college freshman with $225 to spend on cake parties? Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, if you
By the
going to
way, I
spend
don't drink
that much
anymore.
time on it, I mean, I that's why I'm saying
I'm
like,
estimating it. It's an effort for making it work and crawling for 3 to 6 months just to do that, to play with these tools to see if they develop any benefit for agents for MQLs and
You're
SPS.
missing some tool. Yeah, maybe Apollo.
Apollo's the
Actually,
basic.
that would be.
I know there's a background CRM tool that I didn't put in there really as a CRM, a dedicated
Well, no, you
HubSpot.
could just use Apollo.
You could use
Actually, that's
Apollo.
probably. I would probably just use Apollo.
Yeah, that's what they recommended. No need to hire up, spend money on the HubSpot. I have a free, and by the way, you
Well,
can
no,
get
what's the
free
difference? I
access to
mean, yeah,
HubSpot
yeah,
as
yeah,
freebie.
yeah.
Yeah, if I want to
Think
harness
about
it.
this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, I might just go build this like tomorrow and be done with it, but just
Yeah,
because
I understand what you're saying. What
that's
I'm
what
saying
I'm
is
saying. I'm
what
like,
I have to look at
yeah,
things. I'm very visual, and a lot of our audiences are very visual people. And this is a visualization of
oh yeah,
infographic
yeah. I
reports.
mean, look, I here's what I don't really know. Like, okay, let's just call this Apollo.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to maybe audience, everybody Govid wants to become an engineer again. I did that, been there, done it, wore the t-shirt inside
I
out.
don't want. I like just to do the solution
I
design.
know.
So this qualifier, this is going to be. I did some research, and I think I was thinking about synth flow instead of retail. But they're basically like these guys are
I
all
think
like
it was recommended to me based on cost and budget, just trying to keep the budget down.
they're
They're
all
all about the
basically a
same
cost
price.
per minute. So you're just like
Yeah,
8-9 cents per minute, whatever.
right.
Yeah, you could run this Apollo, and you need make.
Yeah. And
Uh,
this is the crawl phase, the first 3 to 6 months.
so where do I want to stick my
To
like?
have two agents working for you. One is a BDR to start. Second one's an SDR to do a call to action.
Let me
To book a
go.
meeting with some results and deliverables.
So you need the orchestration layer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what this is going to be make.
That's
I mean,
make
you
is
could
the wheel. Yeah.
or well then the other guys use N8N and a lot of people do it. I got an N8N, started playing with it. To be honest with you, I would probably just use make because it's just easier. I've built a lot of stuff in it. I mean, I
Yeah,
literally I have integrations that have been running for 5 years in make or whatever. So
exactly. Why what
it's
flavor
good
of new
enough.
do you have to learn?
The uh this is probably okay. The reason why I was attracted to the other guys with N8N is because they have the LinkedIn. So I'm going to take LinkedIn out
Yeah.
because you don't want to use it, even though
Not
I
on,
think that's
not on cold.
crazy.
Yeah, not on cold.
Yeah, in the front end. And like, okay,
You're
uh,
really not SMS either in the beginning, because that's
well,
a
you
phone
can
call.
use Apollo.
Isn't that a call considered a phone call SMS with a text message? Isn't it?
No,
I don't think you can SMS until you get consent form signed, if I recall.
no, you can send.
Oh, you can send it. You just pay the consequences of breaking the law and getting fined and so on and so on.
No, you can send. I don't know.
I did, most solo entrepreneurs don't want to be fined $10,000 a month every time they're caught with their hands in the cookie jar. So yeah.
Yeah, I probably would say okay, like let's like I
I think the qualifier, the gal with the hat on with the headset that talks to people should SMS after they talk.
yeah, that's probably I'm not going to get this perfect, but this is
Yeah.
going to be
And that's just my preference. You
no,
could
you got to build it. This one you could use less SMS or LinkedIn. This is where you might try some other
yes, after a phone
messages.
call has been done. Yeah, they can do that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just
My
super
best practice
reliant.
is that they should at least, I would rather them leave a voicemail um, than do a LinkedIn message or SMS. That's just me. I'm kind of old school. I know a lot of people love LinkedIn. I don't think it's that effective without being a first connection in the beginning.
I mean, yeah, you gotta. I mean, you're super reliant here on
Wow.
email.
Yeah. Well, you have
It's
to be
like,
because people live and die by email in the business world. A lot of people I know have a LinkedIn profile. They're on there only once a month on the weekend, or at an airport glancing through a few files here and there through profiles in the companies. They're not,
yeah,
it's not a pervasive tool as much as we like to think it is. It is at the influencer level and the first line management level to some extent, but middle management and
yeah.
senior
I mean, my
management.
biggest issue with this is actually, I'm going to research this. The issue with me is that I think cold LinkedIn outbound is the way to go. So if I built this for myself, I need the LinkedIn integration, and I that the guy those guys were doing that through N8N. I need to research that more on my end because
Yeah,
I think
it's
LinkedIn
debatable.
message integration is tough.
If you pick the right personas that live and die on LinkedIn, you're correct. If they're not there that often, hitting them up in emails or messages, they never read them. They're not on. So if you get intelligent tools that shows that they're pervasive users and users of LinkedIn on a
Well, no,
weekly
that's
or
because I
monthly
start
level,
there. Like I'll run
yeah,
a sales navigator search, and it's like, okay, I'm going to run sales navigator, and I always say like only people who are recently posted or whatever, you
yeah, well,
know?
the last 10 days or something, yeah.
Yeah. So, this without LinkedIn is probably pretty straightforward. I mean, this is actually pretty easy to probably set up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking, and not too much money to get it to hire, to use it with those tools for usage cost, monthly
Yeah, Paulo. Yeah, Make is probably
the big
if
one.
you, no. If you spent $20 a month on this for Make, you'd be spending a lot.
Well,
Apollo,
the big cost is the telephone cost. The telephone.
no, probably not. Well, what here? Do the
Well, it
math.
would be if I want them to make a lot of calls as an agent.
Well, no, because remember, they're not going to call unless you get consent. So let's say if they spend consent, let's
That's
see, like,
true.
okay, you just do calculator.
Conversion
Okay.
of consent forms being signed, I have to research that and find out.
Well, no, if you get consent and then they call them, right? And then they call. So let's say you got 10 consent forms a week, a
Yeah,
month, a week. Let's say, okay, if you got 10 consents per week, that times, let's say they spend 10 minutes on the call,
yeah.
uh, times 0.09 is probably reasonable. You're talking $50 a month or
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
for 10, so let's, you know, let's just throw it on here. Uh, $50 for the calling. I would say you probably need the advanced Apollo because you need the Apollo credits is what you need.
For the
So you've
mobile phone,
got
so on, yeah.
$100 for Apollo, and you've got uh, this is not a very good little
Text.
text thing. Here we go. All right, $100 for Apollo, um, and you have $20 for Make, and you have like like $100 for email sending. And this could vary a lot. Like if you know what you're doing, you can get this cost down quite a bit, right? When I say $100 for email sending, it's not it's like Apollo for the data, and Apollo can send the emails, but like, yeah, to get this volume, you might need like 5 email addresses and the domain
Right.
names and all that. So yeah, I mean, $300 a month is probably, like,
It's too much.
uh, that's why I would use LinkedIn because
Yeah, and LinkedIn may be
because
a less expensive crawl phase. You may be correct in LinkedIn being cheaper because it's already kind of pre-built for that.
well, No, well, that's the
I mean,
problem.
it's an environment built for
No, the
community.
reason why I was like
Um,
jazzed about the N8N guys that we were talking to is
yeah,
because they have the LinkedIn integration.
right.
If you that's the kicker for me, because if you're like, hey, I can automate that, I can get my messages out of LinkedIn, that's where the money's at. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm like, email stuff, whatever. If you have a way to interface with LinkedIn effectively, that is, so that's why I'm saying if you take this email sending out and you're just like, I mean, like you
Well,
need
LinkedIn doesn't like robotics, doesn't like automation. So until I'm convinced that you can't go to jail in LinkedIn as a user,
you and I could
one day that you're done.
we could spend hours talking about that. So if you want to take the position that like, hey, it's not worth the risk, I'm not going to figure it out, then
Well,
fine,
no,
don't
no,
use
no. I
LinkedIn.
mean, it's worth the risk because I've been in jail about 8 times the last 6 months. I
Yeah,
keep coming
you're doing
back.
something wrong.
I'm
I've
using
been
plugins. There's a lot of reasons you go to LinkedIn jail. There's a lot of different reasons.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been professionally running LinkedIn campaigns for people for 10 years. And the only time I've had issues is when people were like abusing it and which is or if it was financial, like it was like tax,
Yeah,
tax evasion strategies.
right.
So I mean that's just kind of what,
Well,
that's what
another discussion about LinkedIn another time. This is about taking old school and making a new school with AI agents from an architecture point of view for
yeah,
orchestrating
I'm
one agent
probably
to do
gonna mess
the front
around and
end and
build
one
this.
agent do the prep up for call to action and meetings. Because the BDR is not going to set the meeting. They're going to set the consent form as an outcome. And then that goes to the either the human being or the next agent to make the phone call.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna probably build this and prototype it, and then because I want to learn anyway. Like this part, the parts to me that are interesting are like how do I marry up, like, okay, I want to go, like, how do you solve this particular challenge, like how do you decide, let the AI decide who to message next, and how do I get that. So this is a really interesting thing for me to work on.
This
I'm
thing
just going to go
called
ahead and
Twillo.
tinker with it.
I don't see Twillo in there. I don't see instantly.ai. I see Apollo and Make, but in retail, these aren't
Yeah,
replaced. What about instantly.ai to warm things up on
I
email?
mean, fine if
Is
you
that
don't
extra
like,
cost? 'Cause
if you
I'm starting from ground zero. I don't have any of these tools yet. As an audience member.
yeah, I mean, you can get in, like I said, you could
I have Apollo. I have Apollo, but
spend
I'm saying
hours on.
all these other tools, such as Apollo Basic, I do have, but retail I don't
You
have.
can warm
Or
up your
Make or instantly.ai
emails
or
and
Twillo.
you can go to my buddy Nagi and go get warm up IP and warm up your emails. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot, like, I just, to dig into the email sending topic, like if you're like, hey, we got this far and you're like, I want to send email for this, and that's going to be your core channel, then we
Yeah,
could have an entire separate conversation
yeah,
about how
and
to
that's
execute
true.
email. And like, honestly, I would just have my buddy Nagi send the emails, because he can send 1,000 emails a day and get 90% open rate. And you'll
What's that
never,
cost though?
like,
What's the
you could
cost
spend,
of that? What's that cost of the guy
well, it
off the
doesn't
street?
cost me anything
Well,
because
guy
I
off the
mean,
street might
when
spend
I say it doesn't cost me anything,
five
I mean,
hundred
look,
dollars.
well, no,
Yeah,
I mean, to send it that volume at those delivery rates, yeah, you're
yeah,
talking $300 to $500 a
yeah.
month easily. But I don't, if you're just 100 emails a day or whatever, like, there are ways to send and deliver that kind of volume. But you have this just way too technical of a conversation. Like, you and I could hang out. We're already at an hour and 15 minutes, man. And
I gave you too much. You asked for come up with a slide, and I gave you 3 slides to talk about.
this is enough for me to go start getting dangerous and start building something, and then I'll show you how it works, and then you can
According to the
decide
crawl
if you.
stage, the minimum viable for the audience to know. If you bring up the deliverability of the audience, a lot of people don't know about email domains and all that. You do, but a lot of our audience
Yeah,
does
that's
not.
fine. What about the audience? I write content. I have, go to my website, my site, and you can read all about. I mean, I have tons of
Optimally, the
content
hybrid
about.
approach with 3 domains and 6 inboxes is what I was going to do.
Yeah,
But
because
that
yeah,
costs
but then watch
$38
that.
and
Okay,
the
here you
cost
go.
of service
I'll give
recurring.
you a tip.
What's
How
that?
much okay, you're, first of all, you have to know who you're going to email. If you're going to email big companies, you need to go get 6 Microsoft emails. You know how much that's going to cost you a month?
I don't have a clue.
How much is Microsoft Office 365 going to cost you if you go and
I
you
already
just go
have
buy
it.
those?
I have it now.
You're gonna be $150 or whatever, or
Yeah,
100. You're gonna $100,
I'm
120.
365 currently, which I don't use. I use Gmail, Google.
Right. Yeah. So the same thing, Google Workspace, you're gonna be okay. So but you can go to like guys like Nagi who have these big deals with Microsoft and get them for like $1.50 an account. So if you know what you're doing and you know who to go talk to, then
The
you can go.
ICPs I want to go after are going to be in the mid-market primarily, and then perhaps a small medium business market.
Well,
Not the
SMB.
enterprise. Just
Okay, smaller businesses, you probably want Google Workspace IDs. And the same thing, if you go to somebody like Nagi, you can get them for $1.50 a piece.
yeah.
Because you know what? Because like he's like a tier one Google partner or whatever, and he gets like he buys them in batches of like 10,000 or whatever, you know.
You
And
got to
so
remember, my guys that work on my team with a couple of different companies, they're not companies. They're a company of one person with a budget to do these kind of things, not that
well, no,
astronomical.
that's why I'm saying, like, if you
Yeah.
go tell them, if you go tell these guys, hey, go buy 5 Google Workspace, then they're at $100 a month.
Yeah,
Or
which
whatever, maybe not, maybe it's
yeah.
50 or 60 just for the email addresses, and then you have to go buy a domain. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying there's more. If you want to get the cost down here, there's a lot you have to understand about email sending, and you should go to people like if you go to it, that's why you can
Let's
go
have a
to
call with Nagi sometime. Let's do it.
yeah, or you can go. That's why you can go to Instantly, and there's a guy who I have like there was a guy I used there, but they got in a bunch of trouble too. But you have to. This is a whole space. You could buy the emails and the domains, and then you got to warm up the domain and all this. But if
Well,
you're like, hey, if you're serious about
they
the
claim that
emails,
the warm up is 30-day email safety limit for warm ups from
well,
Google and Microsoft. You say it
if you
might be
it
longer.
also it's a lot more complicated because it's at least 30 days, and but the other thing is like if your domain is new, it can take a really long time because you
Yeah.
have to get your sending volume up, and so there's yeah, this is but I know where you're headed. I want to work on the engine because the parts that I care about are back here. And then if you're like, hey, I really want to build this, then we can. To me, there's two things. You got one is technically the sending, and what you have to it doesn't matter if you send out if you execute this perfectly and you don't have a good offer in your email, it doesn't matter anyway. So if
That's
you're
true,
going to
whether
work,
it's manual or automated, it is true.
it makes no difference. So
Yeah.
if you have something really good that's going to hook people in, that's what I would focus on. If you're on your side, it's like, hey, how do you get a hook? Like whether maybe if it's EHP, then you're like, hey,
PHP, I can do an audit. I can do an
yeah,
audit.
there you go. It's like a free audit
A
for
free audit of their
CFOs.
consensus data. As soon as we have that, EHP will start stepping in and say, hey, we could do a proposal and do a meeting and we'll close it
Yeah,
fast.
and to get the consent, there's another thing you might not be able to get the consent in the I'm just gonna throw it here. You probably need a landing page.
Yeah, that's not thrown into the infographics here. I do need a landing page for EHP.
Well, yeah, because
And for a consent form too.
you could ask people to consent by replying to the email, but most people
Yeah.
you probably want to send them to a page.
Yeah.
They read more information. You could if they so there's more to this. I like I said, I think I'm interested in the engine. What you probably need to think about is like what's the user experience and like what can you put in front of people that they're going to get them to agree
No, I
to
only
check a
think about
box on
money.
a call.
I only think about money. How much money do I want to risk for a few months in a row to get an outcome of 10x of the money is my goal as a business owner. I'm not looking to build stuff that will not produce money. Just
Well,
to,
no, I get that.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But the whether it produces like if you
Whether it's
spend
5x, 3x, 2x, just got to break even.
if you spend $300 on it and you don't have anything that people want to buy, then you just no matter what how
Well,
good
it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, if it comes up with, well, that's the human element with the closing conversion that comes in
well
with
no
people.
that's the product value proposition, right? If you don't have a good
That's with anything,
offer.
whether it's to rent or whether it's Bears Dev or whether it's
No,
EHP.
exactly. Like if you're not offering something people want, then so that's where I'm saying like you got to think like first of all you have to think like okay, are you going to like what are you going to use as your first test case?
EHP,
EHP.
preferably
So
EHP.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah, well, I got a couple of other ideas, but it's EHP to start out
Well,
with.
I showed you my LinkedIn campaign for the same thing. It worked. It was fine. And if I had done this, I probably would be selling a bunch right now.
Well, let's
Yeah,
do
because
that. Let's work on EHP together.
yeah, I could build an EHP funnel for you on
You
this.
get no, I mean you get money
No, I
on
know, I get it. Yeah,
yeah.
I would build you this on for EHP. Yeah, I can show you
Yeah.
how to do it. Yeah.
Let's focus on EHP because
All
that's
right.
what we're both signed up with.
Yeah, it's true. I
Um,
did sign a deal with that thing, right?
Maybe
So,
Sorrent. I do have an opportunity to work with Sorrent. I got to make a decision on that.
oh no, you need to sign that, dude.
Yeah.
No, just yeah, just because I'm just gonna hand you the leads, and then I just need help closing them, dude.
I can help you. Yeah. I don't know if I can.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I told them, I was like, look, guys, if you think you're gonna have a sales guy go out, you hire, you're gonna get a contract salesperson who's just going for commission, and they're just gonna go out and chase after and find their own deals. Like that's totally different than if you're saying, hey, I'm gonna give you leads, go chase these guys down, you know?
Correct. Correct. You know, and that's
So
the challenge with signing these agreements with reseller agreements, whatever you want to call them, is where they really don't help you with their leads. They don't have any leads for you. That's why this is so important to have a lead engine, whether it's on LinkedIn or
absolutely,
email,
like
whatever it is.
life is so much different when you have a lead engine. All right, well, I mean, like, we can stay on and I'll just go jump into Make and start building this, but yeah, it's not worth it.
I want to see you do it. Do it live. You can do it
Okay,
live.
well, I'll get started. Hold on, I'll
Yeah.
show you Make.
Show me Make.
Hold on.
You're already end user of Make.
I'm already like, this is like the longest webinar ever, dude. Oh wait, what am I doing here? I need to share. Oh my God, this is we're just gonna, okay, well, it's worth it. Here we go. This will be worth like, I
show
mean,
the audience you got Make.
downloading just like the
And
video.
you are a solution architect with the right tools.
Well, Make is the way to, it's a God.
Yeah.
Can I not spell? Can I not type?
My Google Gemini girlfriend advisor on my console recommended Make. So I'm going to go with Make. Unless you think there's a different alternative.
Yeah, well, you could do N8N. I started playing around in N8N.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick different products. It just, I think it was one that they wanted to make it affordable for the freshman budget of $225 per month.
I like designed and had this thing built years ago, and this company is still paying for my Make account because just the way it worked out, it ended up on my account and I couldn't get them to figure out what to do. So they're still paying for my Make account for years. And I'm like, whatever.
Just in case they watch this.
I don't even think they use this. I'm like, it hasn't done anything in a long
Let them
time.
pay for it.
It was just call rails and a bunch of other integrations that I ran for that. I think
Well, it looks like a clean interface there to play with. Wow, I like it.
Yeah, so you can right here create an AI agent.
Yeah,
but this is I need to look at this, but see the way that Make is going to work is this is just my like I had a different account, but anyway. You can just you're going to connect up the first thing, right? So actually I need to play with this to see how their AI agents work, but like, let's go. If you look at like Apollo, you're like, okay.
You're on that. Yeah.
Okay. So you can watch accounts. You can where like a new account's been created. You can watch new contacts here, watch updated contacts. So you have to have some kind of, I have to figure out how to architect this in Make, right? But what's going to happen is you're going to have a data repository in Make that's going to be the backbone of this. And let's say it's going to watch for contact updates or other things. So you can see Apollo's right there. I mean, you can get connectors to everything. It's a little bit technical, but like, let's just say, because I don't have the map now, I don't have it in front of me. Well, that's why I'm saying, all right, I'll just create an agent. So let's just say it looks like this. Oh, I have to connect. You have to go. This is something when you get into AI, right? Is you have to have a license, right? So you're probably going to use like Gemini because you already have it, right?
Yeah. Right.
And this is what's kind of where it starts to get a little complicated because you have to have a Google Cloud account. And you have to set up like API access. Like this is something like I'm not going to do more now. Or like I'll go because I just have to sit down and it's too distracting to go through all this stuff. But you basically have to connect this thing to say Gemini or whatever it is. Like You're going to use, you have to pick your LLM. So it's going to be OpenAI or Anthropic. Here they are: Azure, Cohere, Grok, right? XAI. Here's all the AI APIs basically that you can connect to. So you're like, hey, I'm going to use Gemini, and then I have to go to my Google Cloud account and go get the Gemini API key. You have to create.
Govin, for this use case of sales go-to-market strategies with BDRs, SDR, what is the best play? Is it Gemini or is it Claude?
I don't think it. To be honest with you, I like Gemini for business stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's just so hard to, but yeah, Gemini's totally fine. Like,
I thought so
especially
too,
because you have Google Workspace. But remember, you can't, it's not your like Google Workspace Gemini. Like, you have to go to like,
I know what you mean. It's got to
you have to go to Google Cloud Console.
Yeah.
And this is why this stuff gets a little bit like, you could probably get access to some of these other ones a little, right? So this is like the one I was working in, the project I had before. So I think Strategist has like a Gemini, like, APIs and services. And I think this has like generative language API or whatever. So you have to go to your credentials and generative language API key, right? And you have to then show the key and then copy this key. But you have to create a Google Cloud account first, and then enable the access. There it is. So agent's name, I'm going to call this particular agent like the cool sales ideas.
That's a generic name,
Pro.
Dude, you should have been a sales engineer. You're giving me a demo that's really slick. A custom demo, they call it, audience.
All right, hold on.
And the audience is going to be mostly Mr. Walkup, Gary Walkup.
You ready?
I don't think it'll be an audience of one or two.
You ready?
What is it?
This is what my bot said. This is a classic idiomatic challenge: selling ice to Eskimos. While the phrase is an old cliche about salesmanship in the modern world. This is what I mean. You can see it took me 10 seconds to create this, right? But this is where you get into like, okay, you need to add the context, right? That's those books, right? The context is that back out information or whatever, and then the tools are the things that it's going to use. Like, so it's going to use a tool. The context are actually two different things. There's one context, which is the context about your business, and the other context is the information about the prospect. So you're going to have two different contexts. And then these MCP servers.
Or the market, you mean? Ideal customer profile,
whatever it is that it needs to, like, that's why I'm saying an agent, what you're calling an agent like Sarah is not what this is. This is a very focused thing, one step in your process that's going to go out and say, hey, I'm going to do the step that's going to pre-qualify prospects or whatever.
I understand.
And
I'm over personifying the agent's role.
Yeah, you're thinking of it more as like an identity, right? You're like, hey, Sarah is the person. And that's not really what AI agents are. They're like, it's a different thing. But you see, what this agent is it basically what it does is it provides a sales plan for whatever product you put in, right? and that's what the agent does. And I could put in, like, you could say, hey, give me like a prompt where you provide like a bunch of company information, or like information about a deal, and then it goes and it checks like a Miller Hyman reference and comes back and creates an action plan for you to go close the sale or whatever, right?
Right, right.
An agent would just do that one thing in this context. So but yeah, this is how you deploy this. And then hold on a second. Like, I should be able to,
Selling
here, save.
I probably can do it. This thing.
And then hold on a second. Let me see if I can,
This is a slick tool. Make. I like it. Thank you for showing me a demo on this.
I want to see if I just have to figure out, like, hold on. How do I actually deploy? Hold on. See, there's a way that you can actually deploy this, and it will, like, I have to figure out, like, you can use the agent inside of here. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, make is N8N is a little bit more like here, I'll show you one more, and then I'm gonna.
This is a marathon meeting. It was supposed to last 1 hour, audience.
Yeah.
One Gary, and it lasted a little longer. This is on the fly solution architecting, by the way. Only advanced people like Govind Davis can do this.
Yeah, here.
His bill rate is about $500 an hour, by the way.
I know I should really
Up to 1,000 per hour.
am I like in the right account? Oh, here.
Gets dizzy, but it's okay.
Yeah, so this one, when you run the agent,
Hmm.
it gives me like this little it right here. It's like architecture narrative.
Right.
And then, like, what I'm gonna do is actually get the transcript for this show,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna load it up here with like any supporting images, and it'll produce the blog article and everything.
Please load up my notebook 3 ML.
I will.
I worked hard on those. Took 3 clicks.
Well, I just have to go in here, and say,
Took
okay,
me
go
three
grab
clicks
these
to get
things.
those things. Yeah.
Yeah, but it needs a transcript. So anyway, this is a
I know.
different one. But if you go back and look at how this works,
Right.
it literally writes and create, like, you just tell it like, hey, build like an app that does X, right?
Right.
And it writes the code and then it deploys it. So like I could share this app with you on the internet or whatever. It's a
Oh,
public.
really? As an end user, as a free end user license to use it as an
Well,
end
yeah,
user?
I'm not going to share it with you because it like,
So when you mean share, what does that mean? Do I get to be an end user, or do I get to see a
well,
demo?
because it's connected to my Google Cloud account. So you're gonna like, it would like each time I run this, it costs me like 15 cents or something like
Oh, I
that.
see you're telling me. Okay.
Like, you actually have to pay for AI usage, right? Like, you
Right.
can't, when you go to when you go to Google Gemini in Make and you use the API, then you have to pay, and that's why you have to create the Google Cloud account and the
Right.
API key, because it's going to charge you real money whenever you use it.
Nothing's free.
So
That's true.
anyway, all right, I'm gonna go because I have real things. So I'm gonna play around. I mean, that's why
There are so many
make the
video
right
clips from
tool.
this is like at least 20 different video clips for you to put on your
We have so
website.
much content that
There's
for
so much
this, I don't even
content
know what to
here.
say, man.
Ridiculous.
Exactly.
Should have been
I'm
a
glad
series of 3 shows, not just
now we
one.
just need to get an audience. All right, Mike.
We have Gary. We have Gary walk up.
Exactly, dude. When we actually build this and we start running it, people are gonna be like, "Wait a second, these guys are actually doing something." All right, man. We're good, dude. I'm gonna kill it. Good stuff, man.
Kill it. Signing off. Thank you,
All right.
Govind. Take care.
Wait,
Bye-bye.
hold on. I have to play the.
Oh, you got to play your exit screen there.
Wait, where is it? How do I?
It's beautiful. He designed it himself with interactive design.
Oh,
It's
this
interactive.
this thing is just too good to be. Hold on. Da-da-da.
I should have shaved. I didn't shave. Look at that. I like that. I love that sun coming out of that coffee cup. That's beautiful.
Morning Scrum with Govin Davis.
I really like
I like the electricity going through the circuitry and all that. Really quite.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you design all that by prompting it? Really is
No.
nice.
No, I just threw that into this one was actually I used Google Flow, I think, and
Oh, really?
yeah, it's another like Google, Labs product. But
Right.
oh no, I use Firefly, I think. Anyway,
Oh, that's right. You use Adobe,
Yeah.
Mr. Adobe. Okay.
I don't know. There's so
Beautiful.
many things. All right, good stuff, man.
Good branding. I like it.
I'll send you the
Coffee.
I'll send you the produced materials.
Makes you look like Thomas Alva Edison, the greatest inventor of all time, there with the light bulbs. Good luck with that.
Exactly. All right, good stuff, man. Hey, if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend, man.
You too. Bye-bye.